got a beautiful spring day out here, and we thought what better way to spend it than working on the old 2-cylinder John Deere. So we're going to be putting a new distributor in the 60. This one's all worn out. We'll take this one apart, show you guys how much plays in that shaft, get the new one installed, and hopefully have her running like a top. And once we get that done, we're going to be putting her to work, along with the other 60, doing a little bit of blading and disking, hopefully leveling up some ground. So as you can see, we got quite a bit of up and down play on this shaft here. So that's why we're going to be putting on that used distributor. Hopefully take that away a little bit and make her run a little better. Alright, so here's the used distributor we're going to be putting in this thing. And as you've seen on our old one, we had a lot of play in the shaft up and down. This one is nice and solid. Feels pretty good there. We got a new set, new old stock points and condenser we're going to be throwing in here. So we're going to be taking these old ones out and put them new ones in.
We have the condenser in there and bolted down. We got the lead hanging. What we're going to do is put the points in now. And there is quite a bit of spring tension on here, so you just got to take your time, line it up with a little stud coming through and push down at the same time to make sure you're cleared and you're down even. You always want to make sure that your points are even over here. You got to check that as you go. Okay, you can see we have the points installed now. Sometimes it's a little bit of a tough one with that spring-loaded lever here that you got to get on there and slide your condenser wire in behind it. And as you do that, again, you really want to see how far your points are pushed down as that lever goes down on your attaching stud, and then making sure your point alignment is really good. The other thing we're going to do here is we're going to put lube on these points. It's really important to know the direction of the shaft or the direction the shaft turns. This particular one is clockwise, and you always want to put the grease on the point where it'll come in here, so it'll always be pulled against the distributor shaft. So you put just a little bit on the inside there and just a tit on the shaft. That way, as it turns, those points will hold that grease in there and it won't sling off, and it'll continue to lubricate them for hours. The way the distributor actually works is when you turn your key on, the coil begins to build up, and as the engine is turning, these points will then ground, and when they ground, the coil sends power from the coil wire, which comes in this one here, and our rotor sets right like this, and that the power will go from this top tab over to this particular one, whether that's on number 1 or number 2, and it'll fire that cylinder, and it continues to do that while the engine runs. See if I can move it first. Okay. Our hold down bolt, we put that in, we don't tighten that up, and what we do then is we use this bolt here to adjust our points. You see when we turn it, you'll notice the points are moving, and that's how we actually adjust our points. Like that, and we tighten it down, and she should be ready to bolt on.
On this 60, it's recommended to be timed at 5 degrees after top dead center.
We static time the tractor so that we know where our rotor is in relation to number 1 cylinder. So we have that timed on the other side, so now we're going to be able to take the 2 mounting bolts out, the top one and the bottom one. We'll remove them and pull our distributor out, and when we set our new one in there, we'll put it in the exact same way and make sure that we're in the same position so our timing is relatively close. Here we go.
It is also worth noting that the top screw on the distributor has a little bit of oil in it for lubrication inside the distributor. good hole there to fill. So yeah, now we're gonna pull out these last few little trees that are in here and keep doing some leveling on it. We got the big hole kind of filled up now. I'm gonna try and fill some of these small holes, just make it nice and level, and be a lot easier to mow this summer. See if we can find any treasures. I'm gonna go rock.
That's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys all for watching. We got plenty more fixes to do on this 60, including the clutch, the water pump, and the carburetor. So stay tuned for that. We'll also have a video coming out here where we're going to begin overhauling our 1938 John Deere A, which should be a fun project. But with that out of the way, we'll catch you in the next video.